Abiodun Babatunde is a dynamic youth advocate, an educator with a decade of experience in education technology, personal and corporate transformation, business development, and leadership. He is an alumnus of Daystar Leadership Academy and Faith Startup School, and holds associate membership with the Chartered Institute of Project Management. Abiodun founded EduEdge Consults, an education technology firm, and Graduate Exploit School, which has trained over 2,500 fresh graduates. In 2023, he was selected as one of Nigeria's top emerging leaders in the legislative mentorship initiatives of the National Assembly, known as Coach Babs and Honorable Babs, among students and political elites. Abiodun is dedicated to driving growth and transformation in education and human development across Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, with joy in our hearts and a round of applause, please welcome Abiodun Babatunde.
Everybody, yeah, it feels so good to be here. At the same time, I'm angry. All right, so I just came here to pour my anger. Then, peradventure, after I finish pouring my anger, maybe somebody will join me in this anger. Are we good? All right, so let's just get straight to business because I have very few minutes. All right, so because of the short time, I'll just tell you guys the story. Then we will wrap everything up. So let's get started. Story time. Oh, some people are frowning here. Okay, so story time. All right, so let's get to the story. So in 1966, President Yu of Singapore came to Nigeria. And then some things happened when he came to Nigeria. I want us to really pay attention. When he came to Nigeria, he was lodged in Lagos. And then for 2 weeks, they were in the hotel, they did not visit anywhere. So he met a man named Mr. Festus, who was the finance minister at that time in Nigeria. The finance minister under our head of state, Tafawa Balewa. So when he met Mr. Festus told him and said, I think I've served Nigeria enough. I've done enough. I want to retire. I want to retire to get back to my father's shoe-making factory. And then he asked why. Why do you want to leave serving Nigeria to go back to a shoemaking factory? Then he said, well, a year ago, I imposed tax on imported shoes in Nigeria so that everybody will be forced to buy shoes that are made in Nigeria. I don't know if you get. So as a result of that, if he goes back to the shoe factory, it's going to make a lot of money. President Yu of Singapore that time came to Nigeria specifically because he wanted to transform Singapore. He wanted to move Singapore from a third world nation to the first world nation. So he was looking for answers. Then he got to Nigeria 6 years after independence and he met the finance minister looking at how he can siphon funds from the people he's meant to help. Are we together? He looked at that and he said, Kai, he's not optimistic about Nigeria. Like that was not enough. He went to Ghana. And I'm so happy when Mr. Daniel was talking that we have AFEC in Ghana. That's beautiful. So Ghana, Nigeria is the main focus of my story and my anger. So when he got to Ghana, he met the president and the president introduced him to a man called Abraham. And he said Abraham happens to be one of the brightest minds in Ghana. He said, oh, fantastic. So because he was one of the brightest minds in Ghana, the president sent him abroad to study classic. Classic is Latin and Greek. Then President Yu said, how can you send the brightest mind in the nation, all right, to study classic when the nation is heavily invested in agriculture? Now everybody, this is where we are going. He said, if a nation or a continent will thrive, the continent will have to put their best mind or their strength in their area of importance. And that is the point. All right? Ghana and Nigeria, who were supposed to be the leader when it comes to Africa. Ghana gained independence in 1957, the first nation to gain independence in Africa. After that, Nigeria in 1960. So he said the nations that were supposed to lead Nigeria, to lead Africa, were actually not ready for leadership. So he said he's not optimistic about Africa. He's not sure that Africa will thrive. Now, because here's the point. If we must thrive, all right, it has to be us playing our best card anytime we have the chance to. And our best card for a nation like Africa is our human capital. Unfortunately, Nigeria is, or Africa largely, we are not so much invested in human capital development. Okay, because I'm aware that a number of us really want to judge. I'm sorry, this session you might not judge. We just want to get angry. Alright? And after our anger, you now go back home, we have a lot to judge. Right? Because there are lessons to bring out from your life that the world can learn from. Alright, so let's move on. So President Yu said, these two nations are not investing in their strength. We are investing in frivolities. And as a result of that, we can never achieve what we call independence. So let me get to this. Please, if my slide is ready, I would love the slide to be displayed because I need to speak with the slide. Alright, so let's get to this. Okay, good. The next slide. Then the next one. Alright. So now, what President Yu said about Nigeria was just this. He said beauty and packaging is not equivalent to purpose. He said beauty and packaging can never stand side by side with purpose. If, when we talk about purpose, we talk so much about functionality, how functional your life is. In the real sense, we can give a lot of definitions about purpose. But once your life lacks functionality, you are not in purpose. So purpose is basically finding functionality into your life so that you can add value to everywhere you go. Are we together? So he said Nigeria was majoring on beauty and packaging and was not investing in finding direction and purpose. He said for Ghana, it's a game of strength versus positioning. We do not have, we have strength that we've identified, but we are not positioning the strength very well. Please, next slide. Now let me get to the heart of my discussion. Alright, so look at this. Lack of purpose leads to the development of dependency mindset. Lack of purpose leads to what? Leads to the development of dependency mindset. Unfortunately in Africa, what has killed us to date is that dependency mindset. Now let me give an instance. Alright, so all of us are enjoying education in Nigeria. Unfortunately, the education we are enjoying in Nigeria or Africa was never designed to empower Africans. Oh, yeah, now we are getting to the subject of my anger. Alright, this is my space because I work in the educational space. We found out that what they teach us or our curriculum in Nigeria and Africa is not designed to empower us, but rather it is designed to kill something in our minds. Yeah. Now, the number one purpose of education is to be functional. By functional, we mean it must address the need of the nation. But our education in Nigeria is not addressing the need of a common man. So you cannot boast that a man will go to school from primary school to university and be successful in life. No, you can't boast. Alright? Yeah. Ask everybody that is successful in this building. Alright? Education that the government provided did not play a major role. The education that is actually sponsoring success that we are seeing in people is self-education. The education you give yourself. Are we good? Alright, let me move. Next slide, please. Alright, now you see, when my topic was sent to me, I was said to be speaking on purpose and the definition of true path to success. Then I said this, that the true path to success flows from dependence to independence and interdependence. Now we explain. So when Africa gained independence, see, there's a reason I'm speaking about Africa, because this is Africa Futures Empowerment Conference. I need all of us to begin to redefine our purpose and begin to position it to help Africa. All right. At the moment, we are building Africa using the support from the Western world. I tell people this: if somebody comes into your nation and invests $10 billion, have you ever seen an investor that does not want to be profitable? So in the real sense, if an investor is investing $10 billion in your nation, be rest assured that in the next 10 years, you'll be getting more than times 10 of whatever he has invested. So the only kind of investment that can stay and that can be sustainable is the investment in Africa that comes from Africans. Alright? So that means each and every one of us must go to a point where we begin to contribute to whatever we are doing in Africa. So here is this. The flow of success All right, it's from dependence to independence and then interdependence. Now, the problem of Africa as a whole was that we moved from dependence to interdependence. All right, I will explain. We moved from the point where we could not sustain ourselves, and we started exchanging values with Western world. As a result of that, if US, all right, takes away certain diplomacy agreement from Nigeria today, Nigeria is done. But if Nigeria takes away diplomacy agreement with US will still stand. Right? And that's to tell you that this yes. So that's why I'm speaking to you. You know, sometimes my office is on a 3-story building, so I'm at the topmost floor. Sometimes I just stand outside and I stand there and I look. I see thousands of secondary school students leaving school every day, and I tell myself the government have no plans for this ones. No plans. But here is it. If we must stand as the people ready to build Africa, all right, we must look at all the shortcomings our government has, all right, and then decide to rise despite the odds. Yeah. See, here is it. The definition of an irresponsible man is anybody who finds an excuse for his failure. If at this point in time you look at your life and you are still able to give an excuse for the level you are at, it means you are not responsible enough for the empowerment we're talking about. Are we together? Like I said, sorry, I'm angry. So that's why I'm talking like this. All right, please, let's move on. Next slide. All right. Africa needs to move from Western dependence to independence, then to interdependence. I've talked about that. Please, next slide. Let me move because of my time. All right. So we need to redefine purpose. What purpose means to you? What purpose means to me? What purpose means to us in Africa? And this is where I want everybody to just get ready to learn. And then we move. Next slide, please. Let's redefine purpose. All right. So here's it. The first important thing about purpose is nature. All right, nature. And let me explain what I mean by nature. Every one of us have things that are in us that we did not put there. They were just there by themselves. All right? Yeah. If you look at your life today, you will see strength, interest, passion that are just there. You were not the one that put it there. That is nature. Your first mission in purpose is to identify what nature has put in you. Yeah. Your first mission in purpose is to identify what nature has put in you. The interest, the passion, the desires, the affinity. Now that is the first leg of purpose. It is only when you identify the strength, the interest, that you can now start your purpose journey. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So the first is to identify your strength, identify your competencies. All right? Please, then number 2, nurture. Yes, nurture is talking so much about development. All right? Your appetite for development. So here is it. What you identify via nature must be developed by nurturing. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But do you know the problem we have in Africa? Let me tell us this. So you look at yourself. In fact, a lot of us do not even know the uniqueness we carry. All right? We don't know the uniqueness we carry, but we are pursuing so many other things. As a result of that, we are being frustrated on the journey. All right? So let's say, for instance, in this room today, if I run an analysis, there are certain people that are analytical, some are creative, some are innovative. All right? Here is it. If you are innovative, you will struggle to be creative. Unfortunately, everybody wants to be a creative now. You want to create content, but you are not wired for it. If you are not wired to be a creative, you can't be it. You will struggle on the path. So the first point to purpose is to identify who you are. Are you analytical? See, early enough, I found out that I was not really creative. I found out that I was innovative. All right, by innovation, I mean, being innovative, I mean, I can improve processes. I might not be able to create one. I can improve processes. So you get the idea. All right? So it doesn't mean someone that is creative is better than me. No. All right? If someone that is creative feels better, it means you understand his competencies enough to make him stand. Whenever you feel intimidated by anybody, it simply means you've not identified your core competencies enough and you've not grown it enough. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. All right, so first mission, identify. Then second mission, nurture. Now, where we are lazy at is at nurturing. And whatever you don't nurture cannot grow. Yeah. Every point on the way. Hard work will always beat talent. Everywhere, at any time, hard work will beat talent. You know the beautiful thing again, you can be so talented. If somebody that is hardworking brings the diligence game to bear, all right, the person that is hardworking will win the heart of the people. And whosoever win the heart of the people, all right, is the leader. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. All right, so nurturing. Nurturing. See, there are two major things we use in nurturing. Number one is knowledge. Number one is knowledge. Now, let me quickly talk about that. Number one, knowledge. Number two, information. Number one, knowledge. Number two, information. Knowledge is everywhere, but quality knowledge is scarce. Knowledge is everywhere. Quality knowledge, very scarce. All right. So it is your own duty to search out knowledge by yourself. All right. Let me pass one of my point of anger to somebody that will pick it. Sometimes when you are reading books, what you should be looking for is what the author was supposed to write that he did not write. So somebody is writing 21 laws of success. Then you are supposed to ask yourself, what did you read to become successful? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Somebody is writing how to make your first 1 million. And then he's giving you ideas that he did not follow to make his own first 1 million. When you are reading, you need to find out what they are supposed to write that they did not write. Alright, because those are the secrets. I don't know if you get. But then, before you can get to the point where you find out what they did not write, you must have read a lot. So one day, somebody reached out to me and said, "Sir, I want you to teach me how to write a business plan." I said, "No problem, I'll send you material." So I just sent the material, 250 pages material. And he said, "It's too much." I said, "What? Too much in this age? With the volume of knowledge we need to consume, 250 pages is too much? We are not ready." If you build capacity enough, the 250 pages, you finish it in an hour. You are not writing exam. Some of us need to learn. I went for a training when I was in my 400 level. That training changed my life. In that training, you pick a book per day, and you must finish that book that day. So some of us pick books of 650 pages, and we must finish it. And we were still in training. You must not open the books at the training. If you open it, problem. You know, that training is called History Makers Training. Some of you can check it up online and then go for it. It's not so expensive. Maybe 450,000 or thereabout. But don't worry, you need money. Just meet OTO. OTO will. Alright, so that's by the way. Alright, now, that's it. Guys, our appetite for knowledge must increase. Some of us need to begin to change the kind of books we read. Alright? Because I'm in the educational space, I look at chemistry sometimes and I say, what we are reading is not chemistry. In Nigeria, we are not doing chemistry. I'm sorry to say. Some of you are studying chemistry. You are not doing chemistry. You are doing agric. You are not doing agric. What you are doing is history of agriculture and history of chemistry. Because the theories you are still learning were theories that were postulated in 1805. Where were the things that they discovered in 2005? What were the things that they discovered in 2023? So what many of us are still consuming are histories of what we are supposed to be learning. So that's why quite a number of us may not be able to play side by side with folks in the development space. In the development nations. So I tell myself this: if you are a fashion designer in Nigeria, and then you have a chance to travel to the UK, and they say fashion designers raise your hand, and you are afraid to raise your hand, you were never a fashion designer. If they say we are engineers here, one young man there studied mechatronics engineering. I feel from engineering too, same school here, all right. But here is it: if we get anywhere and they say engineers raise your hand, and we are scared to raise our hand, it means we were never an engineer. Do you know what your mission should be? This is it: that if I choose any field, I should be able to stand anywhere that I'm a professional in this field. Alright? If I say I'm a singer here in Nigeria, I should be able to stand anywhere that I'm a singer. If I'm going to do that, I need to invest so much in knowledge, so much in information. Let me tell us this: knowledge will help you know, information will help you improve. Knowledge will help you know, information will help you improve, because the things you need to improve are the recent trends. If I ask us here now, some of us are studying so many courses, different courses. If I ask you, tell me the 5 recent developments in your field. The 5 latest innovation in your field. If you don't know it, it means you are not preparing to build Africa with us. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Hey, are we together? All right, good. So number 1, nature. Number 2, nurture. Number 3, please. Next slide. Now let me wrap this up. Contribution. All right, contribution. Contribution. When we say contribution, we are so much talking about value. All right, having the value that you are ready to share with people. One of the things that brings contribution is service. Yeah, service. Now let me tell us this. There are so many things you will never know by reading. You will only know them by serving others. There are so many things that you will never know by reading. You will only come to know them by serving others. So I want every one of us to celebrate all the volunteers of this conference. Can we put our hands together for them? Put your hands together for them. Thank you so much for what you're doing for humanity. But I need to put this to you, that the fact that you are serving means you are setting yourself up for adequate knowledge. Are we good? Are we good? You know, there's a popular saying that says, ideas rule the world, right? Right? Ideas rule the world. I've changed it. Ideas does not rule the world. You know what rules the world? Tested ideas. All right? Experimented ideas. That is what rules the world. In other words, if I have an idea that I believe can bring $1 million, if I've not tested it, there is no proof that the idea can work. I don't know if you get. All right, some entrepreneurs came together from Harvard University, Harvard Business School. You know, they had done a lot around learning. And then they put a proposal together, Tomato Juice. Some of us, if you want to learn how to write a business plan, just go and download Tomato Juice proposal online. You will learn a lot. I read that proposal and I was like, wow, this is fantastic. They came to Nigeria to start Tomato Juice as a company. Tomato Juice folded up in a matter of time. It takes more than idea to rule your world. It takes testing the ideas to rule properly. And do you know where you get the chance to test free of charge? By serving others. Yeah, by serving. All right? You have an idea about media. You have not tested it before in any program to see if you are good, to even know if you are that good. See, let me tell you something. If you go on a course and then you finish a course, you learn. My dear, you have only acquired knowledge. You have not learned. True learning comes when you practice what you have learned. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And then you need to consistently practice. There was a day I was listening to Vusi, and then Vusi was talking to somebody who wanted to be a public speaker. And the person said, sir, I want to be a public speaker that will be paid in dollars. And Vusi said, oh, beautiful. You know what you need to do? You need to achieve 10,000 cumulative speaking hours. He said, what do you mean? He said, anywhere you have the chance to talk, talk. So that you can get to 10 hours count. When you get to 10 hours count, you will have the mastery and competencies that you will never have acquired in an academy. So he said, somebody wants to do naming ceremony in your house. Say you can talk. Do the MC. Somebody wants, they are saying, who knows the answer to this question? You know you don't know it. Stand up, talk. That rubbish will give you confidence above shame. The problem a lot of people have today is not that they are not good. It's that they are afraid of shame. And many of us need to come up and fight shame. Defeat shame. I tell somebody, you cannot shame a shameless man. Yeah. If I've laughed at myself before, there is no degree of your laughter that can make me feel bad. So you know what I do? I deliberately try things by serving people so that I can make mistakes, laugh at myself, correct myself, so I can be above your laughter. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Sometimes when I'm scared to come and speak, when I get to the stage, I'll make jest of myself, laugh at myself. You will join me to laugh. There's no laughter that can make me shake again. Not on this stage. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So get to the point of contribution by service. All right? Quality service. Give yourself to it. Serve. You are a student on campus, your lecturer does not even know you. How can you get to the point where you will have the confidence that will make the governor know you? You don't get what I'm saying? So learn to serve. It's important. Are we good? Then the last one, impact. Impact. Now this is key and important. Yes, I want to challenge every entrepreneur here. Alright? Every entrepreneur, please do us a favor by giving back to the society. And when we say give back to the society, we don't really mean pack food. Yes, food is important. Alright? Don't just pack food. Train people. Okay. We're designing a program recently in my firm, and I told my staff, and I said, you know what? When it comes to empowering people, giving them money is not the empowerment. Giving money is not the empowerment. The real empowerment is the empowerment of the mind. Thank you. All right, so can you move me on to the next slide and let me finish my story? So here is this. Purpose is not static, and it is not a destination. Purpose is not where you are going. Purpose is a journey. All right? And I tell you this, the degree of your growth determines the magnitude of your purpose. The degree of your growth determines the magnitude of your purpose. For you, that you think that your purpose is probably to be the finance minister in Africa, I tell you, in Nigeria, I tell you, it means that is the scope of your knowledge. That is the scope of your exposure. If you dig a little bit deeper, you will see something bigger than that. Are we good? All right. So your level of growth and exposure determines the scope of your purpose. So finally, let me round off with this. If there is anything you will take home from what I've said, apart from the anger I've poured into you, all right, what I need you to take home is this. If you are here, decide to be good at something. All right? That's one. Decide to be good at something. Then number two, decide to be very good at that thing. Then number three, decide to be known as being good at that thing. Revenue does not come by being good at something. It comes by being known to be good at that thing. Thank you.